glad you're here. And yeah, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and join the family because, we would love to have you. And so, as you can see by the title, we are talking about another 90 days recap. And this time we're going to focus on Jenny and Sumit. Now look, Jenny and Sumit, they're one of those couples that, I really do love them together as a couple. I think that they give great TV. I do enjoy the banter back and forth. And I really do feel that there's really true love between Jenny and Sumit. Now, some may not agree with that because we all do remember how they humbly began their love affair, if you will, 10 plus years ago. When I think it was Sumit decided to be a great idea, to catfish, and he ended up catfishing Jenny. So if you've been watching the 90 days love fest between Sumit and Jenny since they've been on the franchise, you'll know that that's a pretty interesting way to start out a loving, long-lasting relationship. So quite frankly, they are winning, I would say, because I can't imagine that I would want to result in a marriage after being catfished. But hey, Jenny's like, look, Sumit is my man, so this is what we're doing. So, we're going to fast forward all the way into this last week's episode. We already know that Jenny and Sumit's family are really not in any kind of way of bonding whatsoever. Basically, Sumit's family has disowned them, or at least more or less the mother disowned them, and everybody else followed suit. So, Sumit is kind of, riding that naivete. Now, forgive me, I'm still getting over a really bad cold. But so some of the words want to come out, sometimes they don't, it is what it is. Anyways, but his naivete in thinking that his family's going to come around. So, hey, I'm here for the popcorn and the fun. We'll see if that happens. It didn't look so good the last time that we saw them meeting together. So, it leads into the past episode where Jenny is in the emergency room. Now, I'm looking at Jenny and I'm trying to understand, Lord, have mercy, why are you in the emergency room, right? So Jenny thought it would be a great idea to hang up pictures by standing on a rickety old chair. Sorry about that. Looked like the camera was telling me that I didn't have enough space, so I had to kind of readjust. But okay, so back, where were we at? Jenny Sumit in the hospital emergency room. Okay, yeah. So, of course, I'm sitting here looking at the scene and trying to understand why Jenny thought it would be a great idea to get on a chair. I'm like, are there not any ladders in the house? Some kind of stool or something that actually would be sturdy? Yeah, so I just didn't get that whole thing. It seems like this season, though, that Jenny's had a couple of mishaps, right? I think it was about 2-3 weeks ago. She had tripped over Sumit's shoes, but yet when you see her in the scene, she's literally looking at the shoes. So I'm not really sure what that was about. But yeah, okay, who knows? But, Jenny is inside that emergency room, which also really supports, Jenny's position on the fact that, look, she needs Sumit to be home more often. If you recall, I think it was probably a couple episodes ago, where Sumit has gotten a new job with one of his friends at his restaurant, and he was saying he was going to be working, pretty much every day. And Jenny, she was having none of that. But she relented, and, look, Sumit said, hey, I am not in the stage of life where I want to just sit down and, just chill and watch bird fly all day long. I want to get out there. I want to do things. I want to be around people and, that kind of thing. I'm just not ready to kind of, sit out and just be on the porch, so to speak. And, of course, Jenny she's retired. Yeah, I believe she's retired. And, she's looking for just spending all of the time she possibly can with her man. They are newlyweds after all, and it took a long time to get there. So as we are going through the scene, we see that, Jenny finds out she doesn't have any broken bones, which is such a great thing for many reasons, and I'm pretty sure Sumit was ecstatic about that. But I thought it was really funny how Jenny had, asked the doctor, hey, look, I fell and, really hurt myself. Now I didn't crack a bone. That's pretty good for 63, right, doc? And of course, the doctor says, yeah, you got good bones. You got good bones. So I just thought that Jenny wore that with a badge of honor, and it was kind of a cute moment. But nevertheless, the doctor says, hey, of course there's no broken bones, so you just need to do some physiotherapy, which looks like more or less, I guess, acupuncture. If I say that right, acupuncture. Don't you just hate it when you're not feeling well? Lord have mercy. But that's okay. I'm not cutting any of this out because, this is real. Anywho, so it was so funny because the doctor asked Jenny, hey, are you afraid of needles? Jenny says, not much. Jenny's a trooper, right? She just fell off a whole chair and managed to walk out there without a single broken bone in sight. So she's good. Yeah, go ahead and poke me. So the doctor begins to do the poking of the pins. You see, there's really small pins, and to see Sumit's face now, they're wearing face masks, but you could just see his eyes, and you could see his expression, and it really looked like Sumit was about to pass out. He then kind of shares about the fact that, he's not too fond of needles. He could take a sword, but a needle just can't do. He actually had shared a past story where he had given blood at least 3 different times, and all 3 times he basically just passed out and fainted at the sight of his own blood. So it was pretty funny. I'm not one that's really crazy about needles either. I had a really bad experience. I was fine up until that experience. And it's just sad, isn't it, when sometimes you have some kind of traumatic thing happens and it changes your course of feeling about a certain thing that you were okay with all the way up until then for quite some time. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I can understand Sumit on that. I'm one of those people too that if I'm getting a shot or something like that, or getting any type of needle stuff, trying to get blood tests or anything like that, I don't want to look either. I usually tend to look away. So, so I felt his pain. So that was a nice little fun, kind of moment. And yeah, so they just kind of talk about that. And of course, the greatest news that is happening, that is really happening the very next day, is that Jenny's daughter Christine and her wife Jen are coming to visit, and they haven't seen each other in 2 whole years due to COVID and probably other constraints. And it's just so exciting. I'm so warm in the moment for Jenny because, Jenny has been going through it, okay? Jenny has been losing ground, gaining ground, standing her ground, fighting for her ground. I mean, relentlessly throughout these last, really few seasons. And it's just so nice to see her light up and be happy about something. And, she's such a close relationship with her daughter, and they seem so loving. Her daughter's very supportive. One thing I like about Christine is that she just simply just kind of puts it out there, but she does it in such a loving kind of way, right? She, look, at the end of the day, if anyone should feel a little uneasy about this relationship, I would say it would be Jenny's family, because Sumit was, a whole catfish out here. So, make it make sense, right? So it was interesting to see just how exciting Jenny was. I mean, she was real excited when they went on their honeymoon. And, look, she just still has to keep dealing with the foolishness of everything. But then Sumit dropped another moment in his little confessional. We'll just call it that. And I forgot about this because I think he mentioned this a couple of episodes ago, where he's actually thinking that maybe if he changes course on having children, his family will be more accepting of the situation. Because I remember a couple episodes when he was having that fight out with his parents, he was, and there was a conversation about the children, and his mother was just so upset about the fact he would not be able to have children, blah, 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 blah. And I remember sitting back and saying, I never heard Sumit ever once say he was interested in having children. Like, that never seemed to be anything that he talked about. I don't even recall that ever being any kind of bone of contention. So I thought it was really strange that Sumit now goes down the Angela and Michael path of let's try to see if we can force a conversation about having a child in a situation that that's not going to happen, not in the biological sense. Well, I'll say this, because I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor. It's going to be really, 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 really hard Okay? So, yeah. So I don't know. But I don't think he's had a chance to talk to Jenny about this. So, while he's in this appointment with Jenny, he's a little concerned because now he's really kind of being faced with the concept that is not new or lost on anyone, that him and Jenny are in different stages of life. And it just was one of those moments that kind of hit him. And doesn't this happen to us all, right? Sometimes you may think things are all so great and any kind of situation you can conquer and overcome, and then something happens and then you've got to maybe possibly reevaluate, or at least makes you just take notice of, okay, this may be something that I need to find a workaround, maybe look at it a little bit differently. It doesn't mean you're going to abandon it altogether, but it just seems like he's really contemplating this because now he's talking about kids, and I just don't see that happening. Maybe through adoption, maybe? I don't know. I just don't get the vibe that Jenny is really interested in doing that either. So, yeah, I don't know. And you also would think that it would have been a conversation that those two would have had. I don't know how many conversations they've had, but about this whole situation, even down to how his family is so against their relationship. But yeah, that's where we're at with that. So then we mosey in on down to, I believe would be the next evening, and they're cleaning up. Jenny's got her sling, and she's like, look, this is uncomfortable. I need to take this off. I do better without it on. And she's there doing the mopping, the cleaning. Look, I know Sumit's mom was dogging Jenny out from start to finish of the day about her cleaning skills, but Jenny was not letting that stop her because her baby girl was coming into town, and she was going to make sure that this was going to be a very warm and nice and inviting space for her to be in, because she's just so super excited about her daughter visiting. And so yeah, they're cleaning up, getting straightened up, and again, I just absolutely love Jenny and Sumit's banter, right, when they're getting along and not fighting about, I don't know, the family situation, really, because they seem to do fine when they're not talking about that. And they're just so cute, kind of getting together. Sumit is getting in there, wiping down things and cleaning things. And, ladies, we all love a partner that likes to help us with the cleaning, because that's quite a sexy thing. And Sumit's all in. So yeah, so they're doing that, and the next thing we know, the doorbell rings, and oh my gosh, y'all, the look of sheer enjoyment from both Jenny and her daughter Christine is just priceless. I mean, it was just, you would have thought Christine was being picked up from her first day of school in kindergarten. That is just how gleefully happy she was. And I am so here for it, because Jenny needs to have that support, right? She needs to have other people here that she feels has her back. She's had so many run-ins and really unfortunate situations with Sumit's family, and she feels really alone because in all purpose, Sumit really is all she has out there. So it was really nice to just see how elated she was. And so they're hugging and crying and just rejoicing all in the moment. And I mean, it was just a beautiful, beautiful moment. So they come in, Christine and Jen was like, wow, the house looks nice. Jenny had put up those pictures, she almost pretty much off herself doing, but look, the effort was there, and it was nicely decorated, and it did seem like there was a few other things in the home, so it was really nice to see the preparation come into fold, and Christine was just so excited to be there. So Christine and Jen sit down with Sumit and Jenny, and they just start kind of talking, how you doing, how things going. Christine lets us know, because we know that Jenny and Christine have been talking, right? She wants to make sure her mom is good, right? That's the natural thing. She wants to make sure her mom is good, that she's supported, she's loved, and she's protected. And I know she's probably not all the way too thrilled with Sumit in regards to how he may somehow handle the interactions that his family's had with Jenny. Sumit is such on the fence. I understand the reasons why he is intellectually, but when you take a wife, you take a partner, husband, whatever, your loyalties and protection need to be in place for that person. It's one of those things that the love, in my opinion, for your family and your spouse, or in particular your parents and your spouse, does not have to come from the same pot. They're two separate pots. It's two different relationships. You can love them 100% both the same, So there's a lot of cultural differences naturally in the situation. You would have hoped that Jenny and Sumit, for the amount of time they were dating, had some real heart-to-heart conversations, even behind the scenes, what we would not have seen, about these differences and cultural differences and the onus that's placed on the family members and their interference, more or less, and their judgment or their overly conversation about things that really doesn't have a lot to do with them. So what you gonna do, right? So of course, Christine says, I want to make sure my mom is good, and that's what any good daughter would do. So we get to the point where Christine is now talking and asking about the family. How is Sumit's parents coming along? And Sumit's face, he kind of keeps that smile. Like looking in a way where he's like, oh, wow, we have to talk about this now. You just literally got in here. But, hey, we're going to talk about it, right? I don't know how long Christine is going to be here for the visit, so she's going to get it all out. Let's do it now. And that's one thing I really do appreciate about Christine, and just how she is overall, how she moves. She just kind of gets it out there, and let's talk about it, and I'm here for it, right? Such a grown-up thing to do. So Jenny is like, look, yeah, his mother is no mas, okay? She's not accepting it. This is not their culture. This is India. We ain't doing this. You're not welcome. And that is that. And of course, Christine looks at Sumit, and Sumit says, yeah, I'm just kind of thinking maybe I give them a little bit of time and a little bit of space, and they'll come around, and they'll come back to accept me. Because if you remember, just a few episodes ago, Sumit's mother said, you no longer exist to me, okay? And the family touted right behind her, So that was devastating for Sumit, and that's understandable. He doesn't want to lose his family. He wants everybody to come kumbaya together. The problem is that there's a lot of issues there, and I don't think they're going to be resolved. I mean, I remember when they had the astrologer on there, and the astrologer was supposed to be somebody who would actually, whatever they said, he gave reverence to, and they gave reverence to them, and they're supposed to go with it. And the astrologer said, hey, leave this couple alone. This is his destiny. Whatever will be, will be. If it doesn't work out, let it be on their own terms, not because of your involvement and your true disdain and outwardly hostility towards Jenny. And, we all thought, whew, with a breath of fresh air, that finally this would be the moment that Sumit's mom would say, okay, well, the astrologer said. Nope. She sure didn't. She turned that around, said, no, this is what it is, and I'm not budging, and that is that. So, of course, Jenny shares about Sumit that, maybe she'll accept you back, but she's never going to accept me. And so I really appreciate how Christine just said, because we're all adults here, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Christine is much different in age to Sumit. She might be older. I'm not sure. But, she says, look, this is not acceptable, right? My mother needs to be loved, protected, and you need to care for her in the appropriate way. And of course, she didn't say it all in that stern of a way, but she was really laying it down, and, because anything else is disrespectful. And she's absolutely right. In my opinion, she's absolutely right. So, Sumit, we cut back to him in his confessional, and then the gloves come off, as far as I'm concerned. Sumit then wants to basically say, look, in my family situation, this is how things go, and the family is, pretty much the lead in a way, and this is what it is here, and so unless Christine is in my shoes, she should really just stay out of it. So gloves are off. Sumit is at the gate now, because he's going to now justify the ridiculousness that was all of the sessions I think we've seen, except maybe one of the Family Royale. So yeah, that's pretty much how the episode for this past week, or this week, I keep saying past week, but it's not really past week, it was just a couple of days ago. But it falls on the weekend, so sometimes it makes you think, the weekend days ago, but it's just a couple days ago. So this is the most recent episode. So that's where we're left. With that cliffhanger of a moment. So we're going to have to see next week what's going to happen. Is Sumit going to actually say those words to Christine, or is he going to kind of gloss it over with a little innuendo, and then we're just going to go off to the races? We'll have to see. But the question that I have when it comes to Jenny and Sumit, and you tell me your thoughts as well, because I would love to know them. So please make sure you drop those down in the comment section, and let's have a conversation about it. My not so humble opinion really is that when it comes to when you're marrying someone, I do not feel and believe in the adage of you marry the family. Oof, I know that's controversial. I know that's scandalous here for some people, but I just don't believe in that. I never have. I do believe in the sanctity of marriage and that relationship, and I believe that when you go into a relationship, it is your job to protect that relationship. And that means from any and all individuals who are not in loving support of you and that person. Now, of course, I'm not talking about you being with someone who is, a psycho or, in every which way. And I mean a real one, not just saying it just to be funny. I mean a real one, or someone who's just not a good person. That's different, right? We're not talking about situations, or I'm not talking about situations where there's red flags there and that you're like, look, you need to get away from this person. We're just talking about a good-natured individual who you just happen to love and want to be with. And, sometimes families can get a little bit overzealous in how much participation they seem to put upon themselves to feel that they have the right to have in one's marriage or, committed relationship. And I just disagree with that. So, let me know what you think. I mean, do you feel that once you get married to your spouse, that you're actually marrying their family too? Or are you along the lines more like me? Look, I'm not marrying your family. I will love and respect them as long as they love and respect me. I'm not going to go out my way to, be anything other than kind and all of that. But if they're going to give me a lot of smoke and a lot of heat, then I don't have anything for them. So, that's just what it is. I mean, we're all adults, right? And everybody has the right to choose to love and be with who they want to be with, so there you have it. Your opinion means nothing unless it's a situation of a matter of real true safety and security. But so, I would love to know your thoughts on that. Now, barring the fact that I know that we have cultural differences here, there are some cultures that, that's more prevalent. It's in our culture too, lots of times too, but maybe for the different reasons. But, so just, I'm curious, if that's how you feel or which side of the coin you are on that. And, do you think that Jenny is going to be excited about Sumit's new proposal, possibly in trying to, again, build a bridge to his parents, that they should start a family? I would like to know your thoughts on that. I think it's a resounding no, but hey, that's just me. I would like to know how you feel about that. Do you think Jenny's going to be all for that? How long are we going to pretend that that's going to be something we're going to do? Because I'm telling you right now, I cannot go through another Angela and Michael baby story scenario. Can't do it. Won't do it. Probably will skip over that if that's where we're going. I just can't. So yeah, I just cannot. So yeah, definitely make sure that you go out there and just drop down those comments there and let me know what you think. If you watched this week's episode, how you thought about the episode. And yeah, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, because I am breaking down some other recaps from this past episode as well. And so that should be coming out. I don't know. Just make sure you're subscribed. It'll be coming out soon. And yeah, so I'm so glad you took some time to spend with me, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you have a great day, and yeah, let's just have a conversation in the comment section. And until next time, before next time, make sure if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Okay, subscribe. Be a part of the family here. I would love to have you. There's always room in the suite. So let's do this. And then make sure you please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. It helps my channel so much, and I'd so appreciate it. So until next time, bye.